Hello and welcome to So Crafty. Today I'd like to show you how to make these mini gnomes, a no-sew one. So what you need is a little wood ball, 3/4 of an inch, some fur, a sock, fabric, a glue gun, rubber band, and an iron, and you're going to need some of those fur poms, little pom-poms. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the sock. It's going to be cut about halfway up from the toe. And this will make the mini one. Then you can save the top piece for later to make another one, and then you just glue the end. You also need some rice, so you're going to fill your sock up with rice as much as you want. For the mini ones, I don't really fill it up too much. I would say either a half a cup or a 3/4 full cup of these little plastic cups would probably work best for the little mini gnomes. And then you just keep pouring it in there until you're happy with its shape. Okay, once you're happy with its size, then you're going to tie it off on the top using a rubber band. You can also tie some ribbon around it, or a twisty tie, zip tie, whatever you have. I found that a rubber band works best. And you want to make sure that it's nice and tight so none of the rice escapes from the top. If the top's too tall, then just go ahead and trim that off. Now we want to put on his beard. And I got this roll of faux fur from Amazon. It's about 6 inches wide, I believe, and I just measure to the bottom of the gnome, to the bottom of the sock, and just cut it off. And it's the perfect width. And so I'm just going to trim it up to make sure that it's kind of even. Then you're going to put some hot glue on the back of it all the way around, mainly on the sides and the top, and then a little bit in the middle. And then you're going to place it up as close to the rubber band as you can get. And then just make sure it's all folded over and stuck pretty well. Okay, now we want to make his hat. So I'm going to take a piece of fabric and I'm going to measure around the middle part of him and just kind of mark my finger where the measure was and then just kind of cut it off. You want to have probably about a half of inch or so longer. So that'll act as your seam. Okay, and then you're going to fold that in half. I'm ironing it. I'm going to iron it down first. It was a little wrinkly. And the next thing you're going to do is fold it in half, right sides together. And then you're just going to start kind of in the middle and just kind of cut a curve. And if it looks like the curve is too big on the end, on the side, or kind of in the middle there, then just kind of trim it a little bit closer. And that forms the little hat. Now I'm going to hot glue along one edge, and then I'm going to close it over. And you want to make sure you do this pretty quickly because the hot glue does dry fast. Be careful because it is hot. And I'm just going to kind of pinch it in place and wait for it to dry. Now I'm going to turn it right side out. And I'm going to poke the corner out, the top out a little bit. Not too much because you want it to be a little flat so you can glue your palm on there at the end. Okay, and then if you want, you can kind of iron that down, but just be careful because the glue will remelt. Now you're going to take the raw edge and you're going to fold it in with a seam in the middle in the back, and just kind of fold it in so you don't have those raw edges. And then you can iron that down when you get it to where you like it. It's okay if you have the back a little bit longer, as long as the front is a little bit shorter, or you can make them the same size, even if you want. Now I'm ironing that down. And next you want to place it on your gnome, and always make sure that the seam is in the back. And then I'm just putting it on there, and then you just work your gnome in there, and then work the hat down over it. And I go about halfway, I guess, of the gnome, and then maybe the back can be a little bit further down. Okay, once you're happy with where it is, then you want to glue it in place. And you're going to put a little dab in the back underneath the seam. Just lift up the fabric and place a little glue there, and then close it down, and then do the same thing on the side, on each side. Okay, now you're ready for the nose, and that's where I take the 3/4 of an inch little wood balls. They're unfinished. I got them at Amazon. You can also get them at Hobby Lobby. And then I'm just going to put it in the middle, and I'm going to put it halfway on the fabric and the beard. And you just need a little bit of glue. Okay, next I'm going to get the palm, and I'm going to glue it to the top of his hat. Just put a little bit of glue on the end. And then I'm going to stick it on the top there, and you're going to wait for it to dry. And it doesn't take very long for it to dry. And then once that's done, you're just going to take his hat and fold it over, and you're done. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please